This song was actually kind of like it was written with Petra, and I basically wanted to challenge myself
Mhm.
because it was at a certain point of my songwriting journey, and I felt like at that time I was writing a lot of like very sad sounding songs with sad lyrics, with sad instrumentals. They basically listened to some of my old demos and then they thought that Petra would be like a good fit for my collaborator, and he was so cool, so amazing. But I wouldn't say that I have definitely went through the whole entire thing situation before, but I have went through elements of it, and this is kind of like my point of view of like the situation, I guess. And you know that I can't stay another day. Oh, but I told you so. Please let me go. That was pretty easy by me.
Halo Tribuners, welcome back to On Cam Everynight bersama aku Arin. Dan lagi-lagi malam ini kita kedatangan tamu spesial dari luar negeri. Nah, kali ini tuh spesial banget karena musisi luar negeri kali ini tuh sudah sukses bikin musik bareng sama musisi asal Indonesia yang pastinya sudah sangat terkenal juga di kalangan anak muda zaman sekarang ya. Siapa lagi kalau bukan Petra Sihombing. Nah, kira-kira kamu tahu nggak nih Tribuners siapa bintang tamu kita pada malam hari ini? Ayo tebak dulu, sembari aku spill beberapa clue-nya. Jadi, dia ini merupakan musisi kelahiran Singapura, yang kini berada di bawah naungan Sony Music Taiwan. Dan dia ini baru saja merilis single terbarunya berjudul Pretty Easy pada 22 September yang lalu. Nah, seperti agenda podcast musik pada umumnya, aku mau mengulik terkait sebuah makna di balik lagu ini. Dan tanpa berlama-lama, langsung aja kita panggil. Everyone, please welcome our guest star today, Elisha Danielle. Hi,
Hi
Alicia.
everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Hi Erin. Thank you so much for
Hi.
having me. Hi.
Okay. Alicia, how are you today? You look so stunning.
Thank you, you too. I'm good today. What about you?
I'm good. Okay,
That's
how is
good.
it going? What have you been up lately?
I just came back from Jakarta, and recently I have been working on promoting my song
Mhm.
on social media as well as maybe like writing new stuff, like behind the scenes. But yeah, that's what I've been up to lately.
Okay. So before we dive into music stuff today, what's a typical day like for you?
Ooh, it really depends and varies from day to day. Um, I used to kind of like have a lot of like band practices and stuff because I would perform live from time to time. So that would take a big chunk of my time and my day. But usually I will start the day off with some Pilates. I usually go to Pilates like twice or thrice a week. And then I would go home and rest and have lunch. And then I would usually go to the band room and like stay there for around like it can vary. Sometimes it can be like 7, 8 hours. And then sometimes I go home and then I finish off my music and then I do some like content stuff. And that's kind of like how it looks like in a day for me.
Okay. So, Alicia, before we talk about your new songs, could you please introducing yourself to our listener? You can call them Tribuners.
Hi, Tribunners. I'm Elisha Danielle. I just turned 24. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I just released my very first song called Pretty Easy. And it's out on all digital streaming platforms. Please connect with me through my Instagram or my TikTok or my YouTube. I would love to hear what you guys think. And yeah, and it's so lovely to be here today. And I'm so glad that I'm here today.
Okay. Okay, next, let's talk about your new babies. Pretty easy. First thing first, could you spoil us how this song successfully came up?
Right. This song was actually kind of like it was written with Petra, and I basically wanted to challenge myself
Mhm.
because it was at a certain point of my songwriting journey, and I felt like at that time I was writing a lot of like very sad sounding songs with sad lyrics, with sad instrumentals. So I was like, I gotta change it up a bit. And somebody told me before that there's a songwriting rule where like if you have like a happy backing track, I guess like a backing instrumental track, you should write sad lyrics. And then when you have sad backing track, you should write happy lyrics. And I've always wanted to try upbeat songs because at that time I fell in love with and I'm still in love with Chapel Roan and like her 80s flair. And then I also fell in love with ABBA. And I really wanted to like emulate that theatrical flair into my music. So I told Petra, I was like, I want to write an upbeat song. For the lyrics, we can do like stick to my usual like sadder lyrics, but also not entirely sad. And so um it was in the middle of a songwriting camp with him, and then on the first day we wrote another song, and then on the second day I was like, can we do something ABBA, something different? And then he came up with a track and I instantly fell in love with it. I was like, I think this is the one. And yeah, that's how it came about. And then he started the track and we co-wrote the whole thing. And it was a very smooth process from start to finish. I loved every bit of it. It was so fun working with him. And that's how Pretty Easy came about.
Wow, that's so wonderful, yeah. So,
Thank
what's the story
you.
behind your new single called Pretty Easy? Is it something you went through yourself or anything else?
Right. Actually, I like to write about my friends' experiences.
Mhm.
And I guess at that time, something came up for my friend. And then this was kind of like my response to what I would have done, or like at least what I would think in that, I guess, in her situation. But I guess it's also like a mix of what I went through myself before. So it's like a mix of different stories into one song.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that I have definitely went through the whole entire thing situation before, but I have went through elements of it, and this is kind of like my point of view of like the situation, I guess.
Okay, so maybe you can share a words of encouragement for our listener who might be going through a season like Pretty Easy with their partner.
Right. I guess you should be clear with what you want and be honest with yourself. I think that's the biggest take. I mean, the biggest issue that I think people might go through, like, because they're like not sure,
Mhm.
and like they don't stay true to themselves, but like rather they don't know what they want. But all I can say is sometimes the grass is greener where you water it. Yeah. But then also you have to be clear what you want and stand up for yourself when you think it's time.
Okay, is there any some things that makes you decide to put Indonesia as the place for your new debut?
Right. So actually my dad's side of the family is Indonesian, and yeah, um I go back to Indonesia at least once a year. Um and I still have family there, and so it was kind of like a full circle moment kind of thing to like reconnect with my roots, and I'm so like thankful to be releasing music in Indonesia, especially because like the audience, they're so warm and welcoming and so nice, and I'm just so happy to be here,
Oh,
honestly.
so your dad is Indonesian.
Yeah, my dad's side of the family is Indonesian.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
By the way, when first I heard Pretty Easy, I felt like the song is got a fun beat, but kind of have a sad lyrics. Is it a contrast intentional or what?
Yes, yes, I would say it's intentional. It was definitely, I was inspired by that songwriting rule that I've heard from like a few people to
Mhm.
like write like a sad lyrics, sad-ish lyrics over a fun beat. But also I think it's not entirely sad as well. It's kind of like sad and empowering because I was really inspired by like disco pop, back in the day they would have like disco pop where like I guess women would sing about like, oh yes, I'm going through a breakup. Oh yes, this sad thing is happening to me, but I just want to have some fun, even though it's sad. So I thought that that was pretty cool, like to write something about that. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any part of these songs that you most likely and why?
That I'm most like, I love the intro part.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was really inspired by ABBA. And my favorite song from them, Super Trooper, where they kind of like start off the song with just the vocals and without any instrumentals. And I think it sounded so beautiful. And I've always wanted to do something like that. So yeah. that's probably like my favorite part of the song. But I do love the whole song. But then I think if I were to say like my most favorite part, it would be the first part.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the intro is the best part you most likely gitu. Okay, so as well
Yeah.
as I knew, you mentioned ABBA as inspiration, right? How did the
Yeah.
ABBA influence you to sneak into the track?
Ooh, I guess like I was really inspired by again the very upbeat, like feeling like upbeatness of the song, I guess. Like they wrote quite a few sad songs, but it sounded really upbeat and happy and everything. And like I guess the retroness of the song, I've always wanted to do a retro song, and I've always loved synth pop. I think that was like that's probably one of my favorite genres of like all time. Um, and so I kind of was inspired by different elements of their music, the harmonies. I love ABBA's harmonies, and I wanted to do something interesting on my own song, and which I guess is another like favorite part of my song. I loved doing the harmonies, and I love the harmonies.
Okay.
Um, and like just like the whole like more theatrical flair, more like retroness of it that I was really inspired by ABBA, I would say.
Okay. So after first drop on September 22, how did fans react to your new songs? Any comments that really touched your heart?
Oh, I guess all the comments really touched my heart because I'm just very thankful that, you know, it seems so surreal to me that, people are listening to my song that I wrote, and I'm just so grateful from the bottom of my heart. Like, and it's been great, and people have been telling me they really like the song, and I'm so thankful, and it seems so surreal to me, and I'm so like happy. Yeah.
Okay. So Alicia, what's your hope for Pretty Easy moving forward?
Right. I would writing pretty easy. I wanted to write a very timeless song
Mhm.
where I can go back to it from years from now and still enjoy it like it is. So I think I hope for it to be a timeless song for everyone as well.
Okay. So next, now let's talk about Petra Sihombing. How did you two first connect and how Petra ended as your music producer?
Right. So I'm so thankful for my label Sony Music Indonesia for kind of connecting us both, and they basically listened to some of my old demos, and then they thought that Petra would be like a good fit for my collaborator, and he was so cool, so amazing, so talented, and I was so inspired by him. He's amazing, and I had so much fun. We had so much fun writing the song.
Okay. So was the collab done virtually or did you get to meet in person?
Oh yes, I was so happy to have the chance to actually go down to Ubud in
Hmm?
Bali, which I
Okay.
did not expect. Um, yeah, and like the whole vibe of
Mhm.
like Bali really, I feel, enabled me to like be productive with my songwriting. And it definitely inspired me and put me in the right like headspace to write pretty easy.
Okay. So what part of the song do you think really shows Petra's touch?
Ooh, I would say because we co-wrote the whole thing together, I would say there's Petra's touch throughout the whole song.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
So did you guys have different working styles that somehow click?
Yes, yes. I think not different, but I think he was really chill,
Mhm.
and it's been kind of like a different to like the old styles that I've been used to working with, which is more like systematic and more like, uh, but I feel like it really put me in the right headspace. I enjoyed um working with him because he's so chill, and it in that sense it made me like kind of like creative. I was able creative and kind of put myself in space to write pretty easy.
Okay. Any funny or memorable moments during the production?
Ooh, I think the memorable and like the fact that when I first found out that I was gonna work with him. I was expecting it to be like Jakarta or something, which is lovely. But I did not expect going to Bali, and it was so interesting. Like I've always wanted to like kind of like write music in nature, and it's been so amazing. I loved every moment of it.
Okay. So what do you
Yeah.
hope people take away from Pretty Easy and this cross-country collab?
That music knows no boundaries in terms of like culture, language, and I just hope that people enjoy my music.
Okay. Would you be down to work with more Indonesian artists in the future?
Yes, for sure, for sure. Yes, and I would love to work with Petra again. I had so much fun.
Okay. So if you could perform live anywhere in Indonesia, where would you want to go?
Ooh, I would say anywhere, but I feel like it would be like a full circle moment if I ever managed to perform it in Bali, where I wrote it. I think that would be pretty cool.
Okay, Bali is the first place you want to go. Okay.
Yeah, I mean maybe anywhere. But I would say like performing it in Bali would be pretty cool as well because I wrote it there. Yeah.
Okay. So what can fans expect next from Elisha Danielle?
Ooh, I can't spoil too much, but I would say that there is something coming up.
Mhm.
And we actually left a few like Easter eggs and hints in the music video of Pretty Easy. So like yeah, I hope everyone's looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a song that I really love as well. And yeah, it's coming out soon.
Okay. We wait. And
Thank
lastly,
you.
any message you want to share with your listeners and fans in Indonesia?
Sorry, any message?
Yes, any message.
Oh, ooh, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy my music and enjoy Pretty Easy. And I look forward to connecting with you guys in the future, online or like in person. And thank you guys so much. It means so much to me.
Okay, last but not least, before we close the podcast today, I would like to challenge you, Alicia. I would
Okay.
like to challenge you to sing a song, I mean your new single, Pretty Easy,
Yeah.
live performance. Are you ready for that?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, okay. Without any further ado, everyone, please welcome Pretty Easy by Elisha Danielle.
Change with the seasons. I think we're leaving. I got my car right by the door. I'm gonna take it as it goes. Blame it on the late nights. Waste them and borrow time. Like the fault in our design. What a sight, not a sight for sore eyes. Now that it's far too late, and you know that I can't stay another day. Oh, but I told you so. Please let me go. That was Pretty Easy by me. I hope you
Yeah,
guys got
it's such a beautiful performance to wrap up our podcast tonight, Alicia. Your
Thank
voice is just like
you.
an angel.
Thank you so much. It means a
Okay.
lot to me.
So
Thank you.
I'm so thankful to you for joining us today, Alicia. It's literally a great and fun conversation. And it's always cool to hearing the stories behind the music. And I'm so glad we get to share about these songs with Tribunners. And I think we can taste all the feels that you pour into this precious song pretty easy. Now let's make it happen 1 million streams and beyond because this song is truly deserved to be heard by more hearts and ears on everyone playlist. Dan buat kamu Tribuners, makasih banyak juga udah mau mendengar cerita Alicia di podcast kita kali ini. Keep streaming, keep listening, and keep supporting Alicia with her work. So much.
So much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Terima kasih.
Download Tribun X sekarang. Menghadirkan lokal menjadi Indonesia.